What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Talk. Today, let's get started with Joaquin Buckley has officially set his sights on undefeated welterweight contender Shavkat Rakhmonov, issuing a fiery call-out that has quickly caught the attention of the MMA community. With Rakhmonov currently sidelined due to injury, questions remain about whether he will be next in line for a UFC title shot upon his return. However, Buckley is making it clear that he wants to be part of that conversation. The tension between the two fighters escalated following a recent exchange on social media. Buckley publicly called out Rakhmonov, arguing that the highly touted contender has yet to face someone with his level of power, explosiveness, and athleticism. In response, a post from Rakhmonov's account, or someone managing it, dismissed Buckley with a blunt and inflammatory remark, stating that he would simply get beat up. Never one to back down, Buckley responded with an impassioned video message, doubling down on his confidence and addressing both his critics and Rakhmonov directly. Buckley emphasized his journey in the UFC, highlighting that since joining the promotion in 2020, he has built his career through relentless hard work rather than privilege or favoritism. He spoke about grinding his way up brick by brick, crediting his faith and personal discipline for keeping him focused and motivated through adversity. Buckley also addressed his recent decision loss to former champion Kamaru Usman, dismissing the setback as a fight where Usman relied on control rather than engaging him head-on. According to Buckley, few fighters are willing to stand and trade with him, and he believes that reality will be exposed against Rakhmonov. Visibly fired up, Buckley took exception to the language used against him online, vowing to prove himself through action inside the octagon. He warned that if Rakhmonov chooses not to accept the challenge, he is ready to face anyone else who steps up. While Buckley currently sits at number 10 in the welterweight rankings and Rakhmonov is ranked 3rd, making the matchup seem unlikely from a rankings perspective, Buckley's message was clear. He's not waiting for opportunities, he's coming to take them. Moving on to another news, a potential rematch between Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan is once again gaining serious momentum, with O'Malley openly campaigning for what he believes would be the biggest fight in the bantamweight division. Despite ongoing talk of Merab Dvalishvili pushing for a third bout with Yan, O'Malley remains confident that his rivalry with the reigning champion is the most compelling matchup the UFC can make. The discussion intensified following Peter Yan's dominant performance at UFC 323, where he decisively defeated Dvalishvili to reclaim the 135-pound title. With Yan back on top of the division, O'Malley has wasted no time reminding fans and matchmakers that he holds a split decision victory over the Russian contender from their 2022 encounter. Since then, O'Malley has consistently argued that the unfinished business between them deserves a sequel, this time with the championship on the line. Currently, O'Malley is scheduled to face Song Yadong at UFC 324, a fight that many view as a pivotal test for the former champion. O'Malley has acknowledged that a title shot may not be immediate, but he believes a convincing win over Song should put him directly in line for a Yan rematch. Speaking recently with Demetrius Johnson, O'Malley reiterated that he is undefeated against Yan and even highlighted a disputed takedown from their first fight that he feels went overlooked by the judges. O'Malley also addressed alternative matchups, including a potential Peter Yan versus Umar Nurmagomedov fight, admitting it would be an exciting contest. However, he remains adamant that none compare to the magnitude of a Yan-O'Malley rematch, especially if it were staged for the title on a major platform. In his view, there is simply no bigger fight to make at bantamweight. Meanwhile, the animosity between Peter Yan and Merab Dvalishvili. Moving on to another news, PFL executives remain confident that former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou will return to mixed martial arts competition in 2026, despite ongoing speculation surrounding his future in the sport. It has been more than a year since Ngannou last stepped into an MMA cage, leading some fans to question whether he will fight again under the PFL banner. However, promotion leadership insists that plans are actively being developed for his return. Ngannou signed with the Professional Fighters League after his highly publicized departure from the UFC in 2022, a move that reshaped the landscape of heavyweight MMA. Since joining the PFL, Ngannou has competed only once, delivering a quick and decisive knockout victory in October 2024 that reminded fans of his unmatched power and star appeal. While the performance reaffirmed his elite status, his limited activity has fueled uncertainty about his long-term commitment to MMA. Complicating matters further, Ngannou has openly acknowledged that his PFL contract is nearing its conclusion and has expressed continued interest in pursuing high-profile boxing opportunities. Those factors have raised legitimate questions about whether the heavyweight icon will prioritize the boxing ring over another MMA run. Addressing the situation, PFL CEO John Martin recently spoke candidly about Ngannou's status, emphasizing that communication between both sides has remained consistent. Martin revealed that the promotion is working on what he described as a very special fight for Ngannou, and confirmed that he is expected to have one remaining bout under his current contract, According to Martin, the PFL is hopeful that circumstances will align for Ngannou to compete again in 2026, potentially following key. Moving on to another news, Conor McGregor has officially entered a new chapter of his personal life as the former two-division UFC champion has reportedly married his longtime partner, Dee Devlin. After more than a decade together, the couple, who have been one of the most recognizable pairs in combat sports, have finally tied the knot, drawing widespread attention across both the MMA world and social media. News of the wedding quickly began circulating online after posts emerged celebrating the occasion. According to reports, the ceremony took place at a historic church in Vatican City, providing an iconic and symbolic setting for one of the sport's most famous figures. Images and messages shared across various platforms showed friends, fans, and fellow fighters congratulating McGregor and Devlin on the milestone moment. McGregor and Devlin's relationship dates back to before McGregor became a global superstar. Dee Devlin has been a constant presence throughout his rise to fame, supporting him during his early struggles on the regional MMA scene and standing by his side as he ascended to the top of the UFC. Over the years, McGregor has repeatedly credited Devlin for her loyalty, belief, and influence on his success, often referring to her as a key pillar behind his achievements. The couple share multiple children together and have frequently showcased their family life on social media, giving fans a glimpse into their world outside the octagon. Their marriage marks a significant personal milestone, especially as McGregor continues to navigate an uncertain future in professional fighting. While McGregor has not competed inside the octagon since suffering a leg injury in 2021, he remains one of the most talked about figures in combat sports. Speculation continues to swirl around a potential Moving on to another news, UFC President Dana White is reportedly unhappy with Max Holloway, following an unexpected leak involving a new pair of custom UFC gloves. The situation began when Holloway showcased the gloves during a recent YouTube video, instantly generating excitement throughout the MMA community. Fans praised the sleek design, and speculation quickly grew about whether the gloves could eventually be used in official UFC competition. Shortly after the video went live, veteran MMA journalist Ariel Helwani reported that the gloves were intended strictly for a charitable initiative and were not designed for in-octagon use. At first, the clarification seemed to settle the issue. However, things took a turn when fans noticed that the glove segment had been quietly removed from Holloway's video. During a later livestream, Holloway addressed the situation directly. He explained that while he had asked for and received approval to share the gloves publicly, there was a miscommunication regarding the timing and scope of what he was allowed to reveal. According to Holloway, the UFC later informed him that the gloves were not meant to be shown yet, and asked him to remove the footage. As a result, Holloway stated that he could not go into further detail and urged fans to wait for the UFC to officially unveil the project closer to his upcoming fight. In response to the clarification, several MMA media outlets also removed the glove footage from their own coverage out of respect for the promotion. While the images remain available online, many pages have chosen not to repost them to avoid further complications. The situation has sparked debate among fans, with some. Moving on to another news, the UFC welterweight division is beginning to take clear shape as several major matchups fall into place, and one of the most intriguing potential bouts to emerge involves rising contender Michael Morales. In a recent interview, Morales revealed that his next fight appears to be nearly finalized, with plans pointing toward a high-profile showdown against Jack Della Maddalena on the White House card scheduled for June 14th. If officially confirmed, the matchup would mark a defining moment in Morales' rapidly developing career. The undefeated welterweight has impressed fans and analysts alike with his composure, athleticism, and well-rounded skill set, steadily building momentum with each performance. Facing a proven elite fighter like Della Maddalena would represent the toughest challenge Morales has encountered to date, and a true test of whether he is ready to contend at the highest level of the division. For Jack Della Maddalena, the fight presents an immediate opportunity to re-establish himself in the title picture. After recently dropping the welterweight belt, Della Maddalena is eager to remind the division of his championship caliber. A strong showing against a surging, undefeated opponent would go a long way towards silencing doubts and positioning him for another run at the title. Stylistically, the matchup has the potential to deliver fireworks. Morales' physicality and steady pressure could collide with Della Maddalena's sharp boxing and finishing instincts, creating a compelling contrast that fans are already anticipating. The stakes are high on both sides, as the winner would likely emerge as a central figure in the next wave of welterweight contenders. The rumored White House card itself adds another layer of significance to the bout, as it is expected to be one of the most high-profile UFC events of the year. Moving on to another news, former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov has once again ignited debate across the MMA world after issuing strong comments regarding current UFC champion Ilia Topuria. The undefeated Hall of Famer doubled down on a stance he has maintained throughout the year, declaring that his cousin, reigning PFL lightweight champion Usman Nurmagomedov, is a more complete mixed martial artist than Topuria. In a recent interview, Khabib made it clear that he believes the only way to truly determine who the best lightweight in the world is would be for Usman and Topuria to face each other. According to Khabib, public opinion, social media arguments, and interviews mean very little without an actual fight to settle the discussion. From his perspective, when comparing overall MMA skill sets, including grappling, striking, and fight IQ, Usman holds the advantage. Usman Nurmagomedov has continued to dominate since transitioning from Bellator to the PFL, most recently defending his lightweight title with a unanimous decision victory over Paul Hughes. Under Khabib's guidance at American Kickboxing Academy, Usman's grappling has remained elite while his striking has steadily improved with each training camp. Still undefeated, he has built a reputation as one of the most technically sound lightweights competing outside the UFC. Ilia Topuria, on the other hand, brings a resume filled with high-level octagon experience. As an undefeated champion with elite wins and devastating knockout power, Topuria has proven himself against top-tier competition. His ability to finish fights and perform under the brightest lights has led many fans to view him as the favorite in any hypothetical matchup. Khabib acknowledged Topuria's accomplishments, but suggests. Moving on to another news, Shavkat Rakhmonov has officially responded to Joaquin Buckley's recent call-out, and his message was brief, blunt, and dismissive. The undefeated welterweight contender took to social media to address Buckley directly, making it clear that a fight between the two is not currently his priority. In a post shared on X, Rakhmonov brushed off Buckley's challenge, calling him delusional, and suggesting that he has done little to earn a matchup against a top-tier contender. Rakhmonov stated that he would rather face the fighter who recently defeated Buckley than spend time entertaining what he described as unnecessary trash talk. He went on to label Buckley a third option, at best, closing his remarks by mocking Buckley's outspoken nature. The response comes after Buckley publicly campaigned for a fight with Rakhmonov, arguing that the undefeated contender has yet to face someone with his level of power and explosiveness. Buckley also referenced his own journey in the UFC, portraying himself as a self-made fighter who has earned every opportunity through hard work and resilience. His comments quickly gained traction online, drawing mixed reactions from fans and fighters alike. Rakhmonov, who remains undefeated and firmly positioned near the top of the welterweight rankings, has consistently emphasized his focus on high-stakes matchups with clear title implications. With championship aspirations in mind, he appears uninterested in diverting attention toward opponents he believes do not advance his path to gold. From a rankings perspective, Rakhmonov's stance is not surprising. Buckley is coming off a loss and currently sits outside the top tier of contenders, while Rakhmonov is widely viewed as one of the most dangerous and complete fighters in the division. Many observers believe Rakhmonov is on the shortlist for a title shot once he returns to full health. The exchange has nonetheless added fuel to the ongoing welterweight drama, highlighting the competitive tension between rising contenders and established elites. While the fight